So it was like this, bro. Said like if I grew watermelon, right? So I
Mm.
would load me a wagon of watermelon. When I go to the trading post, say I would trade that watermelon in, some of it for corn, or some of it for sugar, some of it
Well,
for
everybody didn't always find the same things,
okay, all right,
right? So you might only do spices. So you might have a
right,
whole farm where your whole family do different spices like cilantro and stuff like that all over your land. But then you might need to eat with corn or something like that. So you would go to the trading post. You would take the amount of herbs you got and trade it for the corn or the meat because
whatever
they
I
used
do.
to dry the meat out.
Yeah, smoke it, smoke me.
They used to dry the meat out and pack it in salt to preserve it. So you had different means at the trading posts. You used to trade the tribes who sold the moccasins would sold so many moccasins to put in the trading posts to get whatever they needed. Because some of those southwestern tribes was on barren land, they couldn't grow crops,
Hmm.
but they can work leather.
Uh-huh.
Because the desert climate is perfect for drying out leather,
That's right.
right? So they could trade in that and use that as the foundational trading stock to get the vegetables they need that they can't grow in the desert.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Our culture is rich with understanding trade. We didn't understand exploitation and greed. That's what we didn't understand. And that's what we had to go and experience on a mass level that we understand that we know we don't want that. Mm-mm. You take your greed and your exploitation back across the water. We don't want it over here. We've just been here long enough and it don't work for us. Because if it worked for us, all of the tribes would be at the bottom of the national barrel, so to speak, the melding pot. We wouldn't be at the bottom always. That's by design. That's not no accident. They've
Right.
been showing us in the history books with the flood in other cities and the mud in other cities and the molasses across the city, the fires across the city. They've been showing us we've been at war. We just didn't know that they declared war on us until they printed it. And
Right.
now we can show it to you that the people of the land is at
Right.
war with the government.
Right.
I didn't write it. I'm just showing you where it was at.
Since 1930.
So Jermaine Oliver said I've been quantum leaping more than usual and without effort. What's going on? I feel like I've been changing the script of reality because that's exactly what's going on. And what you feel is what you know. That's the simplest, most direct answer I can give you. You experience and you know exactly what you experience, and you don't need nobody else to tell you. You experiencing what you experience. You just gotta interpret it as to how you're going to perceive it to affect you.
Yeah, the quantum leap. The quantum leap is that now he figured out a lot of stuff. He connecting a
Yeah.
lot of
So,
dots now.
and
Yeah.
the quantum leaping is the closing down of timelines that doesn't keep him in alignment with the upcoming age that's being told to him genetically through Schumann resonance and solar flares.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Fire.
That's why remember I told him watch the solar flares, watch the Schumann resonance, and then watch how you feel. Download the biorhythm app so that you can monitor when you go through certain stuff. You can see it coming before it get here, based on what you experience when your biorhythm is in a certain frequency. Paperwork ain't got nothing to do with your status. It only got something to do with your political position inside the corporation. If we didn't, we wouldn't be here.
This is it's process of Earth ejected or pulling from the
It's the
atmosphere.
process of Earth being ejected or pulled from the atmosphere, be it the gravitational pull, could what we will experience be the literally process of the seven thunders. The seven thunders is a reference to biblical revelation,
Mm-hmm.
right? And remember, when you go back in the book tell you what the answer to what a thunder is, right? It's the loud voice. The seven thunders is the seven kings of Israel in the Old Testament, right? It's also they also given to you with the Moby Dick story because the last king was Ahab, who got who got cut off at the knee by a little white lie that became a whale of a lie about a boat and a white whale, which is the white man's burden. So all of those are coded signs to read the time, right? Now remember, if it's seven speakers, where do they come from? You have to look to Revelations to find where the seven is relevant to where you would be getting seven voices from, right? So in Revelations, you got something called seven heads and 10 horns. The seven heads represent the leader of seven nations, and the 10 horns represent the secondary nations that support the seven. Right? But it's really coded as the number 17. 10 and 7 is 17 is a Q flip on a Q code off a Q card, right? To cue the director to make the cut, right? Which brings the movie to an end. So you was all playing in the movie. The world is a stage and we all just actors, says Shakespeare. We all playing a part in something called the holy drama. The holy drama is the tale of the resurrection of the Osiris, the Osirian resurrection. That was resurrected by the mama in the son to allow him to ascend the throne and replace the father in the hereditary passing of the right. So once we understand that the movie has an ending to it, we can let the credits roll now. When the credits roll, it's going to tell you who was playing the bad guy, who was playing George Bush, who was playing his son, who was playing Barack Obama, who was playing Hillary Clinton. All these secrets are codes, right? They got CIA code names for a reason, right? So you got Bill Clinton as the snowman. Think Falcon and the Snowman, espionage, but also think narcotics trade, Arkansas. Right? How we got the name the Snowman. The CIA code name Snowman was married to Evergreen. It's your Christmas story. Mother Claus, Father Claus. Evergreen is the CIA code name for Hillary Clinton. Right? Which she was using Evergreen freights to traffic in children. She's playing the bad witch. Right? As you go through it, you see it all play out in front of you as a big fairy tale, and then you wonder why Shakespeare said the world is a stage and we are just actors. So somebody got to come at the grand finale and tell everybody what they experienced so that they can break out a character. Because once you do method acting, you get stuck in character and it's hard to find yourself again. So we need therapy.
That's right.
But we don't need individual therapy. Ain't nothing wrong with us except for the fact that we don't remember that we ain't these names we walking around proclaiming to be. We something higher than that, pretending to be these names.
Right.
Right. And then you start to open up the third eye. The third eye make me shine like jewelry. You just a renter rapper. Your rhymes are mini made. I'll be here when you fade and watch you flip like a renegade. I can't wait to break on the lemonade. On every trail's a snake, so stay awake. And follow because the temple's a trail. Stage is a cage, the mic is a third rail. Shout out to Rakim, the God MC.
Right? Somebody said, can you clarify what happens to the original people that were here before the Anunnakis arrived and made man in their image?
We amalgamated. That's what happened. We amalgamated. The original people still here. They just mixed in all the other races so we could form one big human family at the close of the age.
Mm-hmm. The Project Blue Rock.
Yeah. Everybody had to tie into the vein. The first family, the first blood, blood. Plug back into that which you came. Just because they derive from us don't mean we can't reabsorb them back into us.
No.
Remember, when Yakub grafted the devil, he gave us a remedy.
Right? He did. They talk about the forms. I know Bill Gates buying up a whole bunch of shit, but he can't. How they buying up our land? They can't buy our land.
Listen, a lot of those farmers, just because they look like us, don't mean they're us. When they tracing their ancestry and find that they came from overseas, they're going to use everything at their disposal to try to displace them from the farm because they got to give it all back to the tribes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if they don't got no tribal mother with blood to the land, they out of there. Because only the tribal mothers own the land. And the tribes, the land own the tribes. We caretakers of the land. The land don't need us. We need the land.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Says, do you need to submit paperwork to change our status? No. Not no more. Paperwork they don't honor paperwork any goddamn way. You know what I'm saying? They don't honor no paperwork. You go in there with it, they gonna
You know, I answered that about 40 minutes ago. We
got a whole tape on it though called about paperwork. A whole tape called The Paperwork Conjure.
It's a paper chain. It's paper trap.
Yeah.
It's to lock you back into the paper genocide in order to disassociate you from the land.
To claim your birthrights, you need oral tradition. That's all you need. Then know your pedigree and oral tradition. We don't gotta do no paperwork with them no more, because they frauded us out of all that information. They frauded us out on it. It's
now we might use their records to form family tree charts, right? Because their records also tell them who they changed us into and who we were before they changed us. But that's kept in the, under lock and key by order of what's called the 72 secret treaties. The secret treaties is all of those secrets, Masonic secrets, that's used to keep us from knowing who we are. From the miseducation aspect, all of the stuff that they was agreed to as parameters to fight the amnesia war, to educate ourselves above the condition for 200 years, to break free of the corporate contract of the interim government.
Somebody says, what's the spiritual explanation for exploring head syndrome?
I don't actually know what that is.
Yeah, it is.
But in the spiritual sense, it's a book called Breaking Open the Head, where the guy is going to all of the shamans, learning about the mushroom and the evil gain and the peyote and different hallucinogens used by shamans to open up the mind. And a lot of people say once your mind been opened that your head exploded, but they don't mean it literally. They mean it figuratively, meaning that your mind has been open to the truth of the world. But I don't know if that's what he talking about or she, Cruise Psyche. I don't know if that's what they talking about.
Gang stalkers. Just Nigerians or a part of a gang.
Gang stalking is more tied to your birthright than you could possibly imagine. They normally try to use gang stalking as a fear tactic to keep you distracted from ever going inward to discover the self because you're paranoid about the gang stalking activities that they're going around you. So they got you so predisposed focusing on them that you can't do the self work required to wake you up as to who you are. Right? The Manchurian candidates is not just part of gang stalking; they're also part of assassination ops across the land. They're the ones who look like us but aren't. Specifically, the ones who grew up in our community know what they are doing. I don't know if they actually know what they are doing, but I know they don't care about us to the degree that they become reckless when they had an opportunity to hold our life in their hand. They more likely to send us on crash out missions than one of us would send the other. Right? And that's normally what happens. They get into a position of power in the community and they like to send the young boys out on crash out missions to keep the tribes divided and to keep us from ever forming unity with each other to reclaim the land. So they there as a plant. When you hear them talking about Hollywood industry plant, they never talk about the neighborhood industry plant that they put in the neighborhood and they financially support them by whatever means they can to get control of the minds of the youth with money, with flashy cars, with a whole bunch of fine females, you know, the poisonous ones at that. So they give them this as part of their cover story to make them look like they're a go-getter. Because we all know that any one of the chiefs, you can drop them anywhere on the land and they know how to make a living, even if there's no real way to make a living, they can get it from the dirt. So when you see somebody performing them activities, your subconscious mind telling you, here is the chief. Let me go see if he can teach me what I need to know to become a chief. And they use that flash as a way to get your attention. But the real chief don't use flash. He use character. Man, this is a long drawn out process and it comes in phases. First thing is shut down all education from the governmental sources. All local communities reclaim the educational programs of your children. That's the one of the first things we got to do. Next, the teenage boys need to learn manhood standards because they don't know how to be a man if men don't teach them. And the quality of men that teach the boys how to be men determine the quality of men that the boys gonna be when they grow. So we need manhood training for teenagers. Then we have the ones in their 20s, college age, need to be in leadership. Leadership training teaches them how to take orders and give orders, and the reason you need to know both sides of the dynamic. If you can't competently execute an order, you can't competently give another order to somebody else, expecting them to understand your order and to execute. So the better you are at being able to follow the instructions, the clearer you make the instructions when you teach somebody else or when you are giving orders to somebody else. This is why we need to reach out to the OGs across the land that has the attention of the YGs, because they gonna be the ones that begin to educate them on how we was deceived to fight each other. Once they understand what was being used to turn us against each other, we can then use that as a survival mechanism to not let it happen again. The first thing we need to be worried about is what is we doing to support and protect our family. And then whatever your natural attention is drawn to is what you need to focus on. You're going to automatically know what to do when you trust in yourself without needing nobody to tell you. Just remember, we have a lot of wisdom teachings so that we know the one that's most competent at the time for the task required is the leader at that time. But the leadership will change according to the needs of the community. And we got to be all right with that.
Some yeah, bro, you heard about that guy, that 3-year-old baby that blew that guy head off, man. Yeah, said the guy was sleeping on the couch, I guess, and it was a youngster, YN guy, and I guess he had one of them 40s with the long clip on it. And the baby got up, go use the bathroom. I guess the guy rolled over, let his gun fall on the floor. The baby went in there and looked at it, picked it up, put it to the back of his head while he was asleep, twisted his cap back. So you think that baby was wrong? He was wrong. What you think about that, bro? That 3-year-old twisted.
First and foremost, your firearm should not be accessible to children.
Right.
That's irresponsible gun ownership. Mm-hmm. I advocate people being armed. I'm with that. Mm-hmm. But I don't advocate you being careless with your firearm.
Yeah.
Right. This is why I don't advocate innocent bystanders getting shot. Right. If you know who the target is, get the target. Yeah. If you can't get the target, don't be shooting.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But in that situation, the baby shouldn't have access to the firearm. Now the irony to that is the baby could have been possessed by an ancestor. And was making a reckoning on something.
That's exactly what I said to my girl, Rod. That's exactly what I said. That baby was handling some business. That's what I said. That baby was handling some business. That dude had to go. He been bullying somebody. He did something. Well, that's a karma. That's the karmic debt for that.
See, you could teach children. You could teach children